Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, walking outside your front door, and realizing you are completely normal. The streets are paved, the buildings stand tall, and the sun still rises. But there is a catch. Every single person you encounter has suddenly forgotten how to understand your voice. The words leaving your mouth sound like absolute static to them, and their voices sound like static to you. You are not physically alone, but you are trapped in a prison inside your own head. In biology, there is a haunting term for the very last individual of a species. It is called an endling. When the endling dies, an entire branch of evolution vanishes from existence forever. But there is a silent variation of this tragedy happening right now in our world. The linguistic endling, the last surviving speaker of a dying language. What happens to a human mind when it becomes the sole keeper of an entire reality? To understand the true horror of the last speaker, we must first correct a massive mistake. We often think of language as a simple tool, a set of labels we paste onto physical objects. A table is a table, a tree is a tree, but language is not a mirror of the world. It is the lens that constructs it. Different languages force the human brain to perceive time, space, and reality in fundamentally different ways. Some languages do not have words for yesterday or tomorrow. Their speakers view time not as a straight line moving forward, but as a circular pool of water. Other cultures do not use the concepts of left or right. Instead, they strictly use cardinal directions. They don't say there is a spider on your left leg. They say there is a spider on your southwest leg. Their brains possess an internal compass that modern city dwellers completely lost centuries ago. When a language dies, it is not just words that disappear. An entire architecture of human thought collapses. A unique way of feeling grief, a specific definition of love, a precise human perspective on existence, wiped completely clean from the earth. Linguists estimate that a single language contains between 50,000 and 100,000 unique words. But it is not the quantity of words that matters. It is the unique emotional real estate those words occupy. Take, for example, the concept of saudade in Portuguese, a deep, melancholic longing for an absent something or someone that is utterly loved, wrapped in the knowledge that it might never return. Or the Japanese concept of mono no aware, the beautiful, sad awareness of the impermanence of all things. In modern English, we require entire paragraphs to approximate these feelings. And for a brief haunting period of time, that entire unique universe is kept alive by just one remaining biological organ, a single aging human brain. Consider historical figures like Marie Smith Jones, who passed away in Alaska, or Cristina Calderon, who died in Chile. They were documented by anthropologists as the absolute last native speakers of their respective ancient tongues. For the final decades of their lives, they lived in a profound state of cognitive exile. They possessed jokes that no other living human could laugh at, memories that could never be translated accurately, a rich history that could never be spoken. They walked through modern cities surrounded by thousands of people, yet they were fundamentally, completely, and irreversibly alone. What actually happens to the human brain under the crushing weight of this specific isolation? Psychologists have long documented the devastating effects of standard solitary confinement. Within days, the mind, starved of external human feedback, begins to warp. It begins to hallucinate. But standard solitary confinement assumes a temporary state. It assumes that if you are let out of the cell, you can speak again and be understood. For the linguistic endling, there is no release date. The cell door is welded shut. The human brain requires an intellectual mirror to stay sane. This brings us to a terrifying psychological theory known as linguistic relativity, or the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis. This theory argues that the structure of a language affects its speaker's worldview and cognition. If your language determines how you think, then a decaying language means a decaying mind. Anthropologists, tracking the final days of isolated dialects, have noted a tragic phenomenon. As the last speaker ages, their lack of daily conversation causes their vocabulary to actively shrink. The brain, seeking metabolic efficiency, begins to prune away the words that are never spoken aloud. The graveyard keeper begins to forget the names on the tombstones. They are quite literally watching their own internal reality evaporate bit by bit, day by day. They become an island where the shoreline is being slowly reclaimed by an aggressive, silent ocean of forgetfulness. By the time the final speaker takes their last breath, the language has often already died years prior inside their own subconscious. But let us zoom out. Let us look past the tiny boundaries of our small planet and look into the grand architecture of the cosmos. Because the paradox of the last speaker is not just a human tragedy, it may be the defining characteristic of our entire galactic existence. For decades, humanity has pointed massive radio telescopes at the deepest voids of space, searching for a single whisper, a single broadcast, a single sign of intelligent life. This is the famous Fermi Paradox. The universe is unimaginably old and filled with trillions of planets, yet all we hear is a deafening, terrifying silence. When we apply this grim reality to the cosmic theater, the implications are staggering. In the study of the Fermi Paradox, scientists talk about the Great Filter, a hypothetical barrier that prevents civilizations from expanding or communicating across the stars. What if the Great Filter isn't nuclear war or climate collapse? What if the Great Filter is simply linguistic drift? Space is unimaginably vast. A radio signal sent from Earth today will take tens of thousands of years to reach a distant solar system. By the time an alien intelligence receives our transmission and decodes it, the human race will have evolved, changed its languages completely, or died out entirely. We are sending postcards to a future that cannot read our handwriting. Every intelligent species in the universe might be completely trapped in its own hyper-specific slice of time and space, shouting into the dark, entirely oblivious to the fact that the civilizations around them have already become linguistic ghosts. We are all endlings, sitting in solitary confinement cells separated by millions of light-years of dead space. We scream our radio signals into the dark void, screaming in English and Mandarin in binary mathematical code. But to the rest of the cosmos, it may all sound like random, primitive planetary static. We are standing on the edge of a cosmic cliff, shouting into a void that does not understand our tongue. The next time you speak to a friend, a family member, or a stranger, remember that you are doing something genuinely miraculous. You are bridging two entirely separate universes together through nothing more than the vibration of air. Do not take the bridge for granted, because one day the last bridge will fall. Thank you for watching. If you want to dive deeper into the hidden mechanics of human consciousness and cinematic philosophy, check out the pinned comment below to continue the journey on Wyrium Films. Subscribe to this channel to ensure you never miss a deep dive. Until next time.